Well, good evening and welcome to Match of the Day, which reflects two matches played on a sunny November afternoon. From the Midlands, the Cannon League Division 1 match between Nottingham Forest and Tottenham Hotspur.
Three in the centre again. Davenport, turning shot! Oh, and right at the goalkeeper.
And from the north, the Cannon League Second Division game between Blackburn Rovers and Brighton.
Knocked forward quickly by Fazackley. Thompson's there. Garner too has the pace and finds Thompson surely. No!
Tonight's top headline is in fact an SOS to Spurs striker Clive Allen. If you're watching, Clive, England need you for the trip to Turkey. So ring us and we'll put you in touch with Bobby Robson. He wants you to replace the injured Paul Mariner for Wednesday's World Cup tie.
Well, let's get the action going with Nottingham Forest against Tottenham Hotspur. And while Spurs have the money, the ambition and the support to become champions, Forest might feel less well blessed, but not when it comes to introducing promising young players to the fray. Your commentator is John Motson.
Forest's top scorer, Peter Davenport, is back after a hip injury. Without him, they failed to score. And Davenport is named in the England B squad to face New Zealand here on Tuesday. So are goalkeeper Steve Sutton and number 8 Steve Hodge, but their priority is to rebuild Forest's season after Tuesday's Milk Cup exit at Sunderland, where 18-year-old Paul Rayner was sent off. But he keeps the number 9 shirt from Trevor Christie, and Johnny Method continues in defence for the injured Paul Hart. Meanwhile, Spurs keep the side which beat Bruges, so Gary Mabbott and Mick Hazard keep out Chris Hughton, who's substitute, and Glenn Hoddle playing in the reserves. Mabbott, Hazard and Graham Roberts are all due back here for that England B fixture, but just one member of the full England squad on duty here today, versatile Gary Stevens. Midfield for Tottenham, substitute right-back for England against Finland, and playing centre-back when he scored against Forest last season. Referee this afternoon, Norman Glover from Chorley. Plenty of rain in this part of the world yesterday, so the pitch will be fairly heavy. Spurs in white shirts playing from the right of 4th, the start of play. Forest, after a bad spell, have slipped to 10th. And they're also out of 2 cups now, Forest, whereas Spurs are still in both of those, the Milk Cup and the UEFA Cup. Clive Allen. Mabbott. Falco. It's Gary Mills. This is Davenport. And he was blocked by a combination of Miller and Roberts as he tried to go between them. So Forest in a threatening position for the first time in the match. Players near the ball are Bowyer and Method. Mills to their right. And Method tries a shot. Goes close to Ray Clement's right-hand post. So many goals being scored from free kicks these days. Goalkeeper's never safe, not even with a wall. Roberts with the dummy, halfway through the first half and no score. It's been a somewhat cautious opening, although that could have something to do with Forest's current form. Kind of match that a goal would do an awful lot to accelerate, and that's what Chidozi's trying to do now. And Allen's on the near post there, where he's always dangerous. Fairclough beats him. And Walsh looks for Davenport onside. Now, can Roberts cut him off? Hodge is trying to get into the centre. Davenport's waiting and shoots, and Clements scrambles it round the post from Davenport. Forest take the corner quickly. Mills. And now Hodge. And now Rayner. Spurs still having to pull people back. Rayner again. Fairclough's well forward there. And a foul in the end by Galvin on Bowyer. Wigley. And here's Davenport. And Wigley. Clement's got a hand to it, and that was enough. And Chidozie threatens at the other end. Allen, he's got Hazard to his left, and unfortunately for Tottenham, wasn't aware of such, and went the other way. 2 very good minutes of football there from both sides. Tottenham's goalkeeper forced to make 2 saves in that spell, Ray Clements. The reason for it being that his defence were caught square and the Forest players beat the offside game. And Wigley wins it away for Forest. Davenport against Roberts. Hodge again making a lovely run inside. That was superb from midfield. Beaten out by Ray Clements from Steve Hodge. Corner being left to Wigley. And Fairclough's in there, offside. Against Hodge, actually, who has produced by far the best and most intelligent running from midfield so far in this match. And we've got 10 minutes left in the first half and no score. This is Nabbit. Hazard. Inside to Allen. Chidozie out on the right. Allen turning. Metcod reading that. And Chidozie coming inside and overrunning, although there were 4 red shirts round him there. Medhot can't go back. At least not to his keeper yet. European players often have the skill in their own danger area to dribble their way out of difficulties. Falco back to Hazard, and Chidozie is on the run here. That was a nice ball by Hazard. Allen near post, appeals for handball against Gary Mills by Tottenham. 3 Tottenham players very near to the incident. All looked at the referee. Nothing given except a corner. Talking point though. Clive Allen so quick to smell out the chance on the near post. Roberts' header, and Allen was close again. Roberts, who got his head to the corner. Spurs supporters in that corner probably feel their side have had the better of the period leading up to half-time, but there's no score at that stage in the match. 2 teams who approached the respective penalty areas quite usefully, but haven't had much devil close to goal. 0-0 at half-time. It'll shortly be 10 years since Brian Clough took over as manager of Nottingham Forest, and his first game was against Tottenham Hotspur. Forest won an FA Cup replay 1-0. Forest have gone 5 league matches without winning since they beat Norwich at the end of September. So this is a critical home fixture for them in many ways. Galvin's header. Linesman's flagging on the far side. Offside given. Chidozie. Falco with Method at his back. Perriman. Roberts. And Method. Stevens retrieves. And Tony Galvin, who's got better as the game has gone on. Good cross. Allen. It caught a Forest player. Corner. Very good wing play from Tony Galvin there. Beat his man on the outside. Good deep cross. Right for the volley. Deflection. And here's Hazard from the corner. Good effort. Oh, yes. That's Mick Hazard's current form summed up in one moment. To the delight of the Tottenham supporters, Hazard scores after 54 minutes and has now found the net in the last 3 matches. And that one, like his goal on Wednesday night, was something out of the ordinary. Goalkeeper Sutton seemed to get a hand to it, but it went in the corner. So Spurs take the lead early in the second half. And if Hazard keeps doing this, it'll be interesting to see just how they propose to accommodate Glenn Hoddle. This is Chidozie. Swain just saving the corner there. Well, only a few weeks ago they were saying he couldn't last the pace, didn't have enough stamina. Then last season they were saying he ate too many Milky Bars. He's a particularly good footballer beneath all that. Davenport and Rayner up together. Here's Bowyer. Forest know that they've got to get back quickly here if they possibly can before Spurs can settle on the lead. This is Wigley. Now Mills. And still Mills. And he's gone right along the line. Davenport and Rayner, no! Terrific piece of defending by Perriman, which is more than can be said for his colleagues. This is Wigley. Hodge. Davenport. And Walsh. And Rayner. And Davenport. And a goal by Davenport. Equalising within 3 minutes. And Spurs defence, frankly, all over the place. How they allowed Mills to come along the line in the first place is debatable. Perriman got them out of trouble. They got straight back into it, and Davenport finished in conclusive style. So Forest's top scorer is back with a goal, his 8th of the season, and this match is on the boil now at 1-1. So often a team vulnerable when they've just scored, and the old adage is proved again here. To the delight, this time, of the Forest supporters. And Allen against Method. Davenport's flick. Rayner. Good early shot by Rayner. Ray Clement's experience telling him where to be for that sort of effort. Somewhere around the 6-yard line. And Walsh calling. But Mills looks for Davenport, who's got just away from Roberts for a second. Bowyer's coming up well here. And Rayner's in there, and Clements, no, Hodge, no. Forest is going down to block the effort. And Hazard looks for Allen. Well, anything could happen now. Allen looking for Falco. Suddenly the game has become totally unpredictable after looking anything but in the first half. And the crowd is sensing it here. Wiggling. Hodge. I sense the team's back where they started. It's 1-1, but the promise of goals much higher in this second half from the moment they restarted. Rayner. And here's Falco. Johnny Method driving it forward. And Hazard lofting it on. And Bowyer. Allen. Here's Falco. Bowyer. Hodge, that's a good-looking ball. He saw the wide-open space on the right wing for Wigley. 4 Forest players in the middle. Chances here. And it's come back for Bowyer, who miskicked it. And Davenport should have done better. And he knows. Applauding the move. Set up by Steve Hodge, and Forest may look back on that and think it should have been 2-1. Miller for Spurs. Hazard away from Bowyer but not from Hodge. Well, this is a good battle in the midfield now. Oh, and it's Davenport! Fantastic save by Clements, awful mistake by Miller. Miller knows that Clements almost saved his wage packet there, because Davenport only had the keeper to beat after that aberration. Clements reacted as few goalkeepers could there. Corner to Forest. Hodge. Good turn, low drive. Tried to be turned back by Rayner. Here's Chidozie. And on the break, Spurs have got Clive Allen in a good position. Look at Gary Stevens forward there. While all this goalmouth excitement is going on, there's a good little contest in the middle of the field between Mickey Hazard of Tottenham and another England B player for next week, Nottingham Forest Steve Hodge. I wonder which one of them will have the final say in this match. Because we're halfway through the second half, it's 1-1 and it's wide open. And Davenport for Forest They've got to try and stay onside here, but he's doing all the hard work himself. Oh, what a good piece of play, and here's Walsh. Oh, and Rayner miscued. And now Wigley. And Walsh again. Thrills and spills at one end, but it could all happen at the other, because Tottenham have got 4 against 4. Hazard. And Allen. And Galvin. Well collected by Sutton. Wigley for Forest. And now Gary Mills. Forest will want to keep this momentum going. Offside, though, against Walsh. That was a terrific break by Davenport a moment or two ago when he ploughed through the Tottenham ranks, and it nearly led to Nottingham Forest going in front. Hazard well forward again here. Unorthodox from Mabbutt, who's now got to turn and check Wigley, and he couldn't do it. 3 in the centre again. Davenport, turning shot! Oh, and right at the goalkeeper. Well, he could have had a hat-trick by now, Davenport. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Clements, one reason why Spurs are still in the match. He was fortunate that it went straight at him, but he's made some good saves since Forest equalised. And Tottenham are glad of his experience just at this moment back there, because the defence isn't doing itself too many favours. Just went past 3 of them in quick succession there. Mills got the ball out as far as Roberts. And Tottenham here with 8 players pushed forward. Perryman's cross. Galvin was lurking. It's in. Tony Galvin. He made it look rather easy. Steve Perryman drifted the ball diagonally across. They all either missed it or left it, and Galvin collected and found the far corner across the goalkeeper. Forest's biggest crowd of the season, over 21,000, swollen obviously by the Tottenham contingent, seeing a very exciting second half here. And it might be worth pointing out that for the last 2 seasons, this fixture has ended in a 2-2 draw. But it might not now. Here's Galvin. Not such a good finish this time, to the relief of Gary Mills, whose mistake it was. And Forest do what Tottenham did to them on this ground last season. Not like that. It's all over, and Spurs have 3 very useful away points. After a very good second half here, the win set up by Mick Hazard's opening goal. Forest got back through Peter Davenport, who frankly might have had 3 or 4. But they didn't take their chances, defied partly by Clements, and Spurs went on to win with a goal a quarter of an hour from the end. Good week for their supporters, progress in Europe, progress in the championship race. Forest with a few things on their mind at the moment, beaten by 2-1.
Well, Forest may have things on their mind, but I'm quite sure Brian Clough understands the realities of the situation. They were the better side today, but the way the cookie crumbled in the goalmouth favoured Spurs. Simply, Ray Clements had an inspired day and Steve Sutton didn't. But as Brian Clough was at pains to point out at the outset, young players learning the job don't always win championships. He knows patience is required for his Cygnets to turn into swans. Bob.
One man who's learned that lesson is Everton manager Howard Kendall. He's patiently put together a side that on current performance is the best in the country. Today's 1-0 victory at West Ham was Everton's 9th in a row and extends their lead at the top of the table to 3 points. Manchester United's late win at Leicester puts them above Arsenal on goal difference, Arsenal having dropped 2 points at home to Aston Villa, and that Spurs success keeps them in 4th place. Adrian Heath was Everton's scorer today, his 11th of the season. Gordon Strachan, with his 6th penalty since moving to Old Trafford, gave Manchester United a 3-2 win at Leicester with just 2 minutes left. Paul Mariner returned after injury to score Arsenal's equaliser against Aston Villa, but picked up a head injury and had to withdraw from England's World Cup squad, who fly to Turkey tomorrow morning. As we mentioned earlier, Bobby Robson is trying to contact Tottenham's Clive Allen as cover not only for Mariner, but in case the Italian-based strikers Mark Hateley and Trevor Francis are injured playing for their club sides tomorrow. Liverpool defender Alan Kennedy is also out with an ankle injury, while Newcastle's Chris Waddle and Grimsby's Paul Wilkinson both missed the under-21 match in Turkey on Tuesday. Wayne Faraday of Queen's Park Rangers and Dean Coney of Fulham have been added to that squad. 4 more goals to enjoy now as we go to Easter Road for the Scottish Premier Division match between Hibs and Rangers. Commentator Archie McPherson.
Break forward there by Brazil. Well, there's a clear head and that's a goal. Ralph Callaghan. 1-0. Here's McKinnon. Fritz has made excellent ground. Here's Ferguson. Can't get the turn. Does there. Fraser. He's done it. The equaliser. McPherson looked to be in trouble. There's Rice. Oh, there's a superb pass. Willie Irvin with a great chance. He scores. It was always on the cards that Hibs would get that goal. Good run by the fullback. Ferguson and Bobby Russell. Here's Cooper. He scored. The equaliser by Cooper. 2-2.
Well, now we go to Ewood Park, and you remember that splendid FA Cup tie between Blackburn Rovers and Southampton that we transmitted live last season. Southampton, though, are not the only team to find Rovers a tough proposition at home, and today it's Brighton's turn to try to get some return for their journey and back to their splendid early season away form. Your commentator is Alan Perry.
It's a typically northern setting here in one of the traditional birthplaces of league football. Although not since 1966, the year England won the World Cup, has Ewood Park been home to First Division football. But this present Blackburn side is producing good enough form to end the club's long absence from the game's elite. It's 7 months since Rovers lost a home match, and they're currently 4th in the 2nd Division. The team is strengthened by the return after injury of regular goalkeeper Terry Geno, and there's one other change in midfield where Colin Randall is preferred to John Lowy. Brighton also make changes in an attempt to end a 3-match run of goalless draws. And manager Chris Catlin has really spoiled the party for defender Kieran O'Regan and leading scorer Terry Connor. He's dropped them both on the day of their birthdays. Gary O'Reilly comes in, and Connor's place goes to 21 years old Ian Muir, who's playing only his 3rd full league game for the club. FIFA referee Franken Roberts of North Wales sets the game in motion then, with Brighton attacking from right to left. They're in the change strip. It's all yellow. Blackburn in those very, very famous blue and white half jerseys. I must say the pitch here at Ewood Park as good as any I've seen this season. Brotherstone for Blackburn. Firm challenge from Smiley and then from Wilson. Blackburn Rovers, a side with a formidable home record. Thompson's header. This is Brotherstone. Beat Wilson well. And the danger was spotted by O'Reilly. Well, Brotherstone with a point to prove, left out of the Northern Ireland squad. Forward by Keeley. Eric Young was beaten by Thompson. And here's Barker for Blackburn, given away. Strong run by Smiley, but in the end, he ran too far. And Rathbone coming all the way, only to be stopped by Muir. Keeley had plenty of time. Well, the Brighton defence allowed the long kick through. Here's Brotherston, Thompson, and they got themselves in a terrible mess then, Brighton. The long high ball completely deceiving them as they push forward, looking to spring an offside trap. And even then, as Brotherston controlled it, Brighton, well, they were at 6s and 7s and were lucky to get away with it. Gatting's header, Randall intercepts. He's a little bit slow to play it through to Brotherston, but still Barker for Blackburn. Garner spinning away well. And the cross was driven in, but Mosley read it well, and that was good goalkeeping. Garner's cross. Worthington at the other end for Brighton. How well he spreads play. Penny. Wilson. Penny once more. Brannigan for Blackburn. Pearce finding Penny once more. Now Randall. Miller. Barker stretch, but Gatting wins it. Feeds Smiley on the right. This is Hutchings for Brighton, who have 4 or 5 men forward in this attack. Gatting through. Hutchings did well. Worthington. Well, he held them off well. Blackburn really living dangerously. Smiley. And Gatting. Pearce comes forward. Oh, well, you know, looking heavy weather of a shot that looked fairly straightforward. Graham Pearce, who's only scored 1 goal in his Brighton career, on target, but Geno at the second attempt, keeping possession. Smiley kicked it in. But to no good effect as Randall intercepts. Brotherston's little header, Young clear. Brotherston again. Good run by Barker. Gatting watched him all the way though. And there was a foul by the Blackburn man. Brighton's free kick. Easy header for Keeley. It finds Brotherston. Chris Hutchings, the Brighton right back. Kenny glancing it on to Muir. Randall did well. Brotherston, good skill. Thompson to his left. And here's Garner. Oh, it's through the goalkeeper's legs, and Pearce made a marvellous clearance off the line. Well, Mosley must have wondered what happened then. Garner's shot squirming between his legs, and Pearce did so well as the ball was a fraction away from crossing the line. And the ball had crossed the line from the corner, and Graham Mosley would be very relieved, but at the end of all that, he only has to pick the ball up for a goal kick, thanks to this man, Graham Pearce, because it looked in all the way. Pearce. Penny. Miller for Blackburn. O'Reilly back. Gatting. Worthington. Penny. And Pearce. Good build-up this by Brighton. Muir. Shook off for Zachary well. Now can he make the shot? He finds Worthington, and it nearly comes back to him. And here's Worthington again. Penny. And Pearce. And in the end, Terry Gino has the ball. So Worthington's marvellous run and a good link-up too with Muir. And it was only the intervention of Terry Gino with his feet that kept Blackburn from conceding a goal. Rathbone clear. Rotherston kept it in well. Thompson back to Randall. Pearce intercepted, but a good return ball from Garner to Miller. Miller hoiking it straight in, but Young is clear. And again, Brighton make heavy weather of the clearance, but get away with it. Penny. And that's the end of a goalless first half. And goalless thanks in the main to Pearce's fine headed clearance when it looked as though Simon Garner had scored his 10th goal of the season to give Blackburn the lead. But lively moments and the promise that that 0-0 scoreline will not remain that way in the second half. So Simon Garner, having come closest to scoring in the first half, sets the second half underway. But Brighton have an immediate throw. Brighton, who drew both games against Blackburn last season, 2-2 here and 1-1 at the Goldstone. They are currently 7th in the second division, 3 points and 3 places behind their opponents. Here's Brotherston. Hutchings' challenge. Now Rathbone. Brotherston. Thompson pulling away towards the far post. And Mosley, not unnecessarily it seemed, giving away the corner as the cross was hit hard to that far post. Mosley stretching. Keeley up there for the kick. And it was his header and a fine save. Still danger. Mosley there again. But that downward header must have been a very, very difficult one for the goalkeeper to see. And that was some goal line clearance because it looked in all the way. Forward for Worthington, who got away from the defender and tried to set the winger back in play, and it could come to him yet. And Penny's presence was enough to win the throw for Brighton. Worthington. Muir, was he brought down? He was. Zachari's challenge from behind. Riley forward for the kick. And there's Young arriving too. Filled in, Gatting and Young, and it was Young's header. Good positioning by the goalkeeper. And really, if Geno's positioning hadn't have been absolutely perfect then, Young's header would surely have found the net. Getting beaten then by Randall. And Young happy to concede the throw. Felt perhaps he ought to have had a shout from his goalkeeper, which he seemed to be indicating. Miller got away, and a good-looking cross. Dominic came to meet it. Brotherston's in there, and it's a corner. So a good start to the second half by Blackburn, and Mosley's been busy. And there's Keeley again, providing that aerial power on the near post. Young met it well, though. Smiley beaten by Randall. Barker with the shot. And he had to be very safe with his handling then, as Barker struck that one with some power and curling away from the goalkeeper fractionally. Mosley, very safe hands. This is Hutchings. Smiley again. He's dragged the defenders towards him, and indeed he wins the corner from Rathbone's tackle. There's O'Reilly's header. Brotherston with Hutchings. Bad throw by Hutchings, lucky to get it back really. Flicked in towards Muir, who turned well. Keeley stayed with him, smiling. Young is still forward from the earlier corner, and Wilson's in there, and good goalkeeping by Geno. Had to be sharp then, with Wilson waiting for any possible slip or rebound. But Geno was quick. Thompson's header, Garner, Miller. Garner. Oh, good effort. Thompson's in there, Young, and Garner again, and he turns it in. How did he get it in from that angle? A marvellous goal. Mosley beaten by a shot from an angle that really ought not to have led to a goal. Well, it was Garner's immediate reaction when the ball first came into the box that caused problems, and it was a fine effort anyway, and the first shot deserved a goal, but as it came back to him in that crowd of players, the angle was so acute, but he still found the net. Blackburn Rovers 1, Brighton 0, and Simon Garner gets his 10th goal of the season, top scorer here for the 4th successive season, 61 minutes gone. Knocked forward quickly by Fazackley. Thompson's there. Garner too has the pace and finds Thompson surely. No! Brave and very decisive goalkeeping. And as Garner slid it forward to Thompson, it looked odds on a second goal, but Mosley denied it. And the goal has certainly breathed life into this game. Rathbone's tackle on Smiley. Smiley again. Keeley away. And that was dangerous kicking, I would think, by Brotherston. It's how the referee's seen it. Wilson curls it in. Worthington's header! And that was close. The free kick curled in, and Worthington came to meet it, and the flicked header just wide. Jerry Ryan, the Republic of Ireland international. They don't seem to have a board with a number, but I guess it'll be Penny who'll come off. Blackburn are about to make a substitution themselves at this precise moment. And would believe it's another Irishman who comes on, Jimmy Quinn, the man who goes off, Glenn Keeley. So both sides have made their substitutions at the same time. Chris Coughlin, knowing that time's against his team now. Worthington. Took too long to make up his mind. And Randall intercepted. Pushed it rather too wide for the substitute Quinn. It's a good-looking ball to the far post, and the mistake. Oh, and it's in, yes! And Blackburn surely now have clinched it. Randall's goal, making it 2-0 in the final 3 minutes. And Mosley disappointed because really Brighton had their opportunities to get that ball clear, and in the end when it dropped to Randall it was a relatively easy job for him to score his first goal of the season and certainly ensure that all 3 points will be going to the home team. Blackburn 2, Brighton 0, and Brighton, having pushed forward so many men in search of an equaliser, now concede a second. Quinn, Garner's getting in behind the defender, and it's a great save, is it? No, it's in! But the referee has ruled it out, and that will be to the huge relief of O'Reilly, because it was his backward header which sent Mosley stretching to tip it away, and in doing so, of course, it dropped to Garner, but the referee had already whistled. Muir, Gatting. Worthington. Turn forward to Smiley. Smiley goes down under the challenge, but Miller's tackle was a good one, and so was his interception that followed. Muir. The linesman's flagging. He's seen an infringement which has led to a Brighton free kick. Blackburn stretching for an overhit free kick, and in doing so he has given away a free kick. And it doesn't matter anyway because it's all over, and Blackburn Rovers have got 3 more very valuable points. It was the goal by Simon Garner which turned the game in their favour, and the goal by Randall which clinched things. And Blackburn, I'm sure, will stay in contention for promotion the rest of the season. A good win, 2-0.
Well, I'll go along with that. In fact, over the next few weeks, we shall be paying particular attention to the second division promotion race. And there wasn't an awful lot between the teams we saw today. Both defences were difficult to penetrate, backed up by sound goalkeeping. But the lesson of this one was the value of a player like Simon Garner to a team. Prolific goal scorers often break the ice, as he did so spectacularly. They swing the game their way, steal the points and create confidence for the coming matches. Players like that are worth their weight in gold. Bob.
That win by Blackburn moves them up 1 place in Division 2 to 3rd, 3 points behind Oxford United and Portsmouth. Birmingham, beaten at Manchester City, dropped to 4th, while Grimsby, like City, joined the top 6 after thrashing Wolves 5-1, their first victory over Wolves in 46 years. In Division 3, leaders Millwall scored 3 times in the last 11 minutes to beat Preston. Bradford, whose fans gave former manager Roy McFarland a hostile reception, beat Derby, the club Roy now coaches, the score there 3-1. That win takes Bradford into 2nd place, a point ahead of Bristol City, who moved up 5 places after beating neighbours Bristol Rovers 3-0. In Division 4, there are new leaders, Darlington. They beat Wrexham 2-1, while this morning's leaders Bury dropped to 3rd after being held 2-2 at home by Crewe.
Well, that's it for tonight. We're back at 10:25 next Saturday with 2 more matches from a league in which goals are becoming fashionable again. Football's a strange business, though, when mistakes and inefficiency can provide greater excitement and happier customers while driving managers to drink. The strong and the talented survive, though, like Ray Clements, who's been unfortunate enough to make the odd blunder in front of the cameras in recent weeks. But today, he took the opportunity to remind us that class does tell in the long run. Good night.
Davenport against Roberts. Hodge again making a lovely run inside. That was superb from midfield. Beaten out by Ray Clements. And Wigley. Clements got a hand to it, and that was enough. Oh, and it's Davenport! Fantastic save by Clements.